Well, hi guys, it's that time. It's our Bible teaching snippet of the day. I'm getting in here a little bit early today and get this posted. I'm loaded up, ready to drive out the driveway. I'm headed over to Wichita Falls, Texas. I have a very, very dear family that I'm going to spend some time with. I look forward to seeing them. And I will be teaching in Wichita Falls at Word of Faith at Pastor Leo's church. The following weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So I look forward to seeing all the folks that I've met and got to know, and my good friends there as well. So today what I want to do is I do want to teach. I posted something on my personal Facebook page under Faye Brown Styles, right? But I haven't done a teaching on it, and I did not share it with my Snippet Lady Facebook page. So today I want to just do a teaching about Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. And this is the one and only place that the proper noun, Lucifer, is used in all of our 66 book Bibles. It's the only time that this name is used in any of the Apocrypha. It does not appear in that. There's no ancient writings about an entity named Lucifer that I have been able to research and find. And yes, I have studied it, and I have not found anything. Now, if someone out there has an ancient writing, some lost book of the Bible, or something like that, that actually truly does, in the Hebrew, use the word Lucifer, I would like to know that connection, because I have researched, and many, many others have too, very respected teachers, and we can't locate anything other than this one word. And today I want to tell you how that got added into. It's not really a mistranslation, guys. It was added into Scripture by Jerome from the Catholic Church. And he's a priest, okay? So I'm just going to read my notes. Let me just say this. I don't like how heavy my Bible is. It weighs about 5 pounds. But I do like the fact that it has wide margins on it, because I go all through the Bible and I make notes. And I like it because it's leather, and it's also sewn backing on it. It's not glued in, so my pages don't come out. So I'm going to read out of my King James Bible the notes that I have written, and then I'll start reading Scripture about this, because I want to talk to you a little more about this so you understand. Lucifer and Satan are not the same person, okay? There are teachers out there that think that Lucifer and Satan that Lucifer is a true entity. And most of the time, I just got to be honest with you, I hear Christians, believers, pastors, teachers equate Lucifer as being the same as Satan. So I just want to talk about that a little bit. So here we go. I'm just going to read this. Esebus, Eusebus, Esebus, or Esebus, however you want to say it, also known as Jerome, who created the Latin Vulgate, translated the Hebrew word into Latin. This was he did the Latin Vulgate in 390 to 405 AD. Those were the years it took him to translate into Latin from the Hebrew, okay? And he alone decided the word Hallel meant light bearer or light bringer, okay? That word did not necessarily mean that. That is the meaning that he applied to it for the first time, which was around the year 400 or so, okay? 400 AD, okay? The name Lucifer belonged to a bishop in Antioch that Jerome knew and respected very well. This word Hallel, and the way it is in the original writings, it says Hallel ben Shachar, and I'll just say Ben means son, B-E-N, Ben means son, and Shachar, S-H-A-C-A-R, Shachar. But anyway, it does not say Lucifer in any old ancient writings of Scripture or manuscripts, whatever you want to call that. This is not a transliteration error or translation error, but a substitution for that word, and he knew a good friend, a fellow servant, bishop, priest, if you want to call it, in the Catholic Church, and he inserted that. And you know, you can't help but wonder, did he do that because he just wanted to always have this very dear friend of his name in what we call Holy Scripture, right? But what has happened is over many, many years, people equate Satan and Lucifer as the same entity or in the same evil family, and we built these doctrines. I mean, there is a religious group out there that call themselves the Luciferians, and that is just and look, do the evil spirits work in that? Absolutely, absolutely, because you know, Jesus's name, Jesus, is not really his name anyway. That's what the Greek translators ended up making it finally into our Bible. So Jesus's name is not Jesus, it's Yeshua in the Hebrew. And so anyway, let me go ahead, and I want to just, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to read what I posted on my Facebook page. Maybe that's my best place to start right here. And I just, you know, I do little posts to challenge people's thinking. I said, how did we get a Luciferian doctrine? Number one, Jesus never used the name Lucifer. Lucifer is found one time in the entire Bible in Isaiah 14:12, inserted by St. Jerome, Catholic priest, bishop, into the Latin Vulgate approximately 400 AD. Now, I want to, some people were going back and forth, talking with me, not arguing, just commenting. So what I put in here is Isaiah as a comment back to someone's question. I said Isaiah 14:12, the Hebrew word is Hallel, which can mean shining one or howling one. Now, again, if you go back far enough in the Hebrew, that word related to howling, not shining. Just remember that, okay, because I'm going to read some scripture. Now, Young's literal translation says, how hast thou fallen from the heavens, O shining one, son of the dawn? And now our King James Bible mentions Satan himself in scripture in the Old Testament 19 times. 14, maybe 15 of those, I'm not positive, I'd have to look at that, but it's either 14, I think it's 14 times in the book of Job. Now I'm talking Old Testament only right now, okay? In our 66 book American Bibles. Okay, 19 times is the name Satan in the King James. 14 of those are in the book of Job, okay? The remaining 4 times that the name Satan is used appears in 3 books only, okay? And that's going to be in 1 Chronicles 21:1, Psalms 109, verse 6, and it appears in Zechariah chapter 3, verse 1, and then again in chapter 3, verse 2. Now that Old Testament Hebrew word is number 7854. It has an O in front of it because it means Old Testament. 07854, and it means adversary, okay? Now, the next thing that I wrote on Facebook as just talking back and forth with people, and I just said this a minute ago, I said I hear the proper names used a lot by church leaders, and I wondered why Jesus never used it. Then I started digging in all the New Testament writings, the Old Testament, and then ancient Hebrew writings. The name was never used by anyone until approximately 400 AD. Actually, it's 405 AD is when the Vulgate was completely finished, the Latin Vulgate, okay? And after Jerome, St. Jerome, now his name was not Jerome, that's his assigned name. You know, the Catholic faith, they'll take somebody and rename them. Okay, like Pope John and Pope whatever. Those are not their birth names. That's what they're named after they become priests and popes and stuff like that. Okay, Jerome inserted the name Lucifer, who was a Catholic bishop priest in Antioch, whom he highly respected. Okay. And that name was added in there, okay? And I've already talked about that. Now, I want to read you some different translations of this. Now, this is from the Sefer, and it's from Dr. Stephen Pidgeon, and I have not found anyone who has dug and just studied and researched, and he knows 4 or 5 different languages. And with that said, the original Hebrew is one of his languages. I'm going to read what he translated it as well from all of his years of research. How you have fallen from heaven, O Hallel, son of the howling morning. How you are cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations. Okay. Now, I want to say this. The reason he wrote it as howling is because that was the original meaning of that word up until it was translated into Lucifer. And, of course, that's where we get lucent, light, and stuff. That just means light or shining, okay? And he translated this as howling morning, okay, instead of shining one and stuff, okay? Let me go over and read you some more scriptures of how they were translated along the way as well. I'm in the Expanded Bible, and this says, "Oh, how you have fallen from heaven, morning star, or day star, shining one." And it says here in their notes, still addressing the king of Babylon, though sometimes applied to Satan. So they don't even use the name Lucifer. I'm over in the Amplified now, and it says, "How you have fallen from heaven, O light bringer and day star, son of the morning." That's not as accurate, okay? Why am I teaching you this? Just let me stop and tell you why. Because Jesus is the light of the world, okay? Lucifer's not the light of the world. Lucifer did not bring light. He's not a god. And we got to be real careful with the lines that we cross like this, because it's confusing. Because you hear that Lucifer is light, and he's the son of the morning, and he's the light bringer and everything. Now we're kind of contradicting Scripture, right? Because Jesus spoke, Genesis 1, in creation, right? And he spoke things into existence. Light be. Jesus said, light be, and then there was light. So Lucifer didn't come and say, here, I'm bringing you some light. See, we got to be careful with that, guys. This is why I'm teaching this, okay? It's so confusing when we hear Lucifer, oh, light bringer, or day star, and stuff like that, because that almost tries to equate him, and here we go, Jesus and Lucifer were in heaven together, and they're brothers. That mess is out there too, and it's a lot of it has come from one man, not a group of men, translating Scripture from Hebrew to Latin. One man. This was not a team of 70 people, 70 scholars like with the King James, okay? This is one man who has a certain viewpoint toward a lot of different things, okay? So he's translating the Latin Vulgate into his viewpoint, and he's added a personal friend's name into Scripture, okay? So anything that's in the Latin Vulgate, you better believe this old girl's going to peel back the layers and take a look at it, okay? Let me read a couple more, and then I'm going to sign off and hit the road, okay? Here it is, and I read this in the Young's Literal already, so I'm going to skip that. The Orthodox Jewish Bible, and it's been updated and modified to a degree, and it says, how art thou fallen from, and it says, from heaven, O Hallel ben Shakar. So they got that right, okay? And then here's the International Standard version. How you have fallen from heaven, day star. Now, I want to say this. There are writings out there that talk about how the angelic beings are actually stars. If you look at that in the book of Revelation, when they're talking about, John is writing about the stars, that's actually talking about angels, but that's a different teaching. I want to read you what the footnotes say, though, in the Amplified. Although I don't like their translation, I like their footnotes. This says, the Hebrew for this expression, light bringer or shining one, is translated Lucifer in the Latin Vulgate, and then later translated into the King James Version, and it's associated with Satan. But many Bible teachers do not support that Satan and Lucifer are the same, and it is an erroneous teaching, and I would be one of those Bible teachers. Those two words have nothing to do with each other. Satan and Lucifer are not family members, and they're not related to Jesus either, okay, guys? I got to run. I love you. I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.